everyone. I laid some cards out and then I said a cuss word, and so I'm starting over because I don't want to do that to you. All right. Give you a little, and it could just be me because I'm feeling very agitated. I've got this like, there's this energy of like, it's like somebody's laying the hammer down, or somebody's going to put the hammer down, like enough is enough. And anyway, that was the energy. It's very it's very powerful and serious, and it is a little unpredictable, and it also isn't going to back down. You've got the sun in the reverse here. Somebody is depressed over carelessness, arrogance, a Ten of Swords, a painful ending, a betrayal, in a love relationship. This was supposed to be the strength of two together, and somebody put 10 swords in your freaking back. And you're disappointed, you're walking away. That was like messed up, man. And you're challenged because you're challenged by this transition. You got a Six of Swords in the upright. So you're challenged by this transition. You're challenged by leaving it behind and releasing the baggage. It could be very painful. It is very painful, okay? And you're challenged by leaving it behind. In the subconscious, you have a Seven of Cups in the reverse. There's confusion. It could be that you have gained clarity regarding this relationship, and you could be a little confused, you know? It was an illusion. It was a fantasy. It had no purpose other than to put 10 swords in your back. In the recent past, somebody we've got a Page of Pentacles and we've got a Tower here. So whoever this is, somebody might have come in with a financial opportunity, or might have been lured in by a financial opportunity or some kind of information which caused a Tower. This manifestation, whatever this is, it's desire. It's desire. Okay, look there, it's desire. Right there, there's that word desire. And what this is a Ten of Swords in the back in a love relationship. There was carelessness. Somebody had an affair. And it caused a Tower. And a lot of conflict. Abusive relationships. There is competition. In the near future, you've got strength. So you've got courage, and you have a subtle power, right? Inner strength. And in the lens it's being looked through is we have the Star here, and an Eight of Swords in the upright. So this says that there will be a renewal and a rejuvenation regarding a mental prison and restriction. In the environment, we have a Three of Swords. So there is heartbreak and a possible divorce. Yeah, disloyalty, betrayal over this desire. Hopes and fears, there's disappointment. Somebody's untrustworthy. There's a lot of jealousy. And somebody's unpredictable, unreliable. You can't trust them. And in the outgoing, we have the Magician in the reverse. So there's narcissist. He's a narcissist. He or she is a narcissist. And they're a manipulator. On the outgoing energies, we have the Nine of Wands. So you're defending yourself. You're weary, and your faith is being tested. Probably praying a lot right now, but you're resilient, and you're gearing up for the worst defense. You could be pretty pessimistic at this point, right? You may have been the leader in this relationship. You weren't acting, you weren't pretending. You thought it was the strength of two together. You may be a leader. You may be the head of the relationship. So this could be a masculine, I guess. I guess the genders don't really matter. I mean, sometimes, especially nowadays, those roles are flipped, right? So anyway, you're challenged by leaving it behind and releasing the baggage of that. We've got kin. And we've got the puppet master. Could be challenged by family who want to dictate to you what it is you should do. And you're having difficulty letting it all go and moving on to more peaceful, calmer waters. There's confusion and delusion here. Lots of choices. A fantasy. It was a fantasy. It was an illusion. Wholesome. You could be a wholesome person, and you were in this situationship that was not, it was an illusion. It was a fantasy. And when this desire happened, which caused the tower to occur here in the recent past, this wise guy is an explorer. So there could be a wise guy here, a visitor from another place. There was desire. It caused a tower. It's causing conflict and upheaval. It's abuse. Drama. Love triangles, drama. There's strength here, courage. So there's courage and compassion for yourself. This could be a test. Or it could just be that you are a conscientious person. I get the feeling somebody's watching you be strong and putting yourself together. It's almost like it's a test. Like somebody's watching you go through this painful ending and they're evaluating how you're handling it. What are you doing in your mind? What are you doing with your heart? Are you getting angry? Are you wanting to retaliate? Are you going to hurt people? Are you going to remain in this wholesome, loving energy? This conscientious energy? Are you going to remain strong? I really do feel like this could very well be like your spirit team or your ancestors or somebody checking it out. Like, or maybe like this is the time to begin the new cycle. And it could very well be that your whole system of things, the way that you deal with this betrayal, this trauma, this thing that disrupts your entire world and throws you off balance, it could be that the Most High is here watching you manage this to see how worthy you are of this leadership position. Are you going to lose your shit? Are you going to go hurt people? Are you gonna take your Three of Swords, and are you gonna go start pulling out those swords and stuffing them in other people's hearts? Are you gonna be unpredictable? Because right now in this new cycle, everybody's being assigned a new role, right? Given a new job, so to speak, in the spirit or whatever. And I really believe that situations like this are extreme challenges and tests over how are we going to manage, first of all, our own internal self, and then how are we going to present ourselves in the world, and are we going to get this shit all over everybody else, or are we going to transmute it and process it in a beneficial way that won't cause more suffering in the world? I think this is the test. What are you going to do with your suffering? Are you going to take your suffering and spill it all over the world, causing more suffering in the world? Are you going to expand on the suffering? Or are you going to manage it? I think you're being watched. This is a test. How are you going to mend your heart? Are you going to keep your heart open? Are you going to remain heart open? Are you going to see both sides of a story and say, yes, you betrayed me. Yes, it crushes my heart. Yes, it tears me apart, shatters my mind. I'm homeless. Your dog may have gotten killed. You may be sleeping in your car. I don't know, man. But this stuff happens. For me, years ago, it was like I lost my job. My partner of 7 years had an affair, and then my dog was murdered. I was living in my car. It was horrid, man. But what do you do with your pain, What do you do with your pain? Do you expand on your pain, or do you transmute it and minimize it, right? So that it doesn't hurt the world. And the leaders need to be able to process pain without expanding it and getting it all over others in the world. So you're confused, you're upset, you got this heartache, someone played with you, they were horse playing with you. It was a fantasy, it was an illusion, it was not real from the very beginning. And to realize, I think perhaps a betrayal such as this, where you find out that it was all an illusion from the very beginning, like I did, it's soul crushing, and you can get really, like splattered on the ground, soul crushing, and it's like, okay, now that you're here, how are you going to deal with that? Are you going to allow it to destroy the rest of your life? Are you going to allow it to destroy the rest of the year? Because if you're in a leadership position, you don't have time to get your shit together. You need to manage now. Even with 3 swords in your heart, even in a state of confusion and depression, even when people are kicking you when you're down, even when you're faced with people who are untrustworthy and unpredictable. It's like you got to pull yourself out of your heart space, and you got to pull yourself out of your mind space, and you got to step out and like look in, right? You can deal with the emotional healing and all that stuff later, but for right now, it's like you got to focus on managing a situation. Solution providing, right? One step in front of the other to flow into this and out of it. And you're going to handle it. You're going to handle it perfectly. You're going to handle it perfectly. This person is a manipulator. They're a narcissist. That's tough. 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 But you're courageous. You're resilient. You're persistent. Even when somebody's in here charging at you, saying, demanding that you have to understand why, right? Whoever this is, this manipulator, this narcissist, they martyred themselves. They martyred themselves. You handle this situation perfectly. Good for you. Going home. Going home. Going home. Going home after this conflict with this snake that found it entertaining to hurt you. Okay, you defended yourself well. They're using divination tools to spy on your location. They've been disconnected. Or they will be. So be optimistic. Be optimistic. You're a leader. And you've recognized the illusion. You know, you have a clear mind. A broken heart, but you have a clear mind. They didn't get your great fortune. They didn't get your great fortune. They're challenged because they and their kin, they were puppeting you, and you're moving on. You were challenged because they were puppeting you. They were using you. They were calling the shots. And they're challenged because you're moving on. You're letting them go. You're letting them go. This is the end. And they don't get a position in the house. They don't get a position in the house. This was an illusion. It was fantasy. It was a delusion. You're a wholesome person. You're a leader. And they're not your lover. Their desire caused a tower. This wise guy, this explorer, this traveler. Whenever I see the explorer card, I think of time travel. You know, because when I see this card, it reminds me of Antarctica, right? Explorer, right? And when I think of Antarctica, I think of the Rothschilds or whoever those people are, and I think of them as aliens. So I think of this as a time traveler or something. And he's a wise guy. And he was here, and it could be that he caused a delusion or some sort of an illusion, like mental magic or whatever, to gain some sort of a contract with you. But it was an abusive thing, and this could have been in a previous cycle. And he was playing you, man. It was all, he had the intention the whole time, he and his kin, of sticking those 10 swords in you and stealing your great fortune. That's all it was. And your seat in the house. But they didn't get it. They didn't get it. occupation? It's what this wise guy does for a job. This is how he earns his way, is by mental magicking people into a relationship that when they have this leadership position, and then he ten of swords them and gets rid of them, and then he still has the position and the role. That's his job. Makes one want to be single for eternity, knowing that thieves like this mofo are out there. They're under adjudication for the drama and the conflict that they have brought. There's a mature woman involved in this. You're a privileged lady. Wholesome, sweet, an official person. You're conscientious and you're strong. You may be getting a new perception about this whole ordeal. You may be like all of a sudden understanding like, what the hell? And somebody may be watching you to see how you handle this. A wealthy man. He may be evaluating you like this thing could have been in a previous, like the previous however many, the 26,000 years or whatever soul cycle, right? With your soul tie, right? And it looks like your soul tie or whoever you were contracted with stuck 10 swords in you, and they were expecting to get your house. But there is a wealthy man here, and he's watching. And he's watching to see, how are you handling this? He knows you're strong. He knows you're tidy. He knows you're conscientious. He knows you're wholesome. He knows you're a privileged lady. And he knows that you didn't sign on with this mofo again. You're free. And you have your position. This mofo didn't take it. They're in a tower. You're heartbroken because you were played with really bad, in a really bad way. There's going to be renewal for you. But look what we got here, First I thought that this was the star. You were going to receive renewal and rejuvenation from a mental prison. And this could very well be true. The mental magic that this one did to trap you into this scenario, you're free of that. You're free of that. But then we've got this mature man who I feel is this wise guy who is coming into that. As you are being freed from this thief, wise guy, mature man is entering into it. It is his gift now. So yeah, there's a divorce here. There's a divorce here because he was horse playing around with the union. And it was simply an attempt to bring conflict, take you out, and steal your position. It was nothing more than that. Nothing more than that. It's in the courthouse right now. There's a divorce happening. You're the main female. So this person is a Knight of Cups reversed. They're jealous of you. They're very untrustworthy and unpredictable. They're unreliable. They've got an overactive imagination. They're very moody, and they're in poverty, or they're facing poverty. You handled this situation perfectly. This magician in the reverse is a narcissist. They're a manipulator, and they martyred themselves. Possibly their whole community. They may be getting a message, and they're in despair. Because this gift is going to this gift, and this Holy moly. Because this gift is with this married couple who have an open pathway, and on the distant horizons, here it is, right them, right? On the distant horizons, their pathway is open. They're getting their wish fulfillment, they're getting a gift, and their wedding. This wealthy man, apparently, it looks like he is liking the way you are dealing with and managing this situation. You may get to go home. Sometimes the way we talk to ourselves in our head, it's like, I mean, I don't know about you. I mean, but one minute it's like something could be so upsetting. I'm like bawling, right? And then I get mad, right? And I'm like, "Rrr," and I spend several hours like threatening, my invisible harmer and all this, And then so I don't know if you go through stages like that. It's like initial shock. Then you cry, and then you're mad, and you're threatening revenge all over. And I'm sure the Most High God is listening to you like, woman, I'm considering you for a leadership role. You got to calm down here. Pull yourself together. Manage yourself. Chemistry. So it was chemistry. This person used sex. And it probably sex magic, mental magic to get you. They're feeling overwhelmed right now because they weren't able to puppet you. They didn't get your wealth, and they didn't get your great fortune, and they didn't get the house, and you're detached. You're detached from them. And they didn't get the house position or the great fortune. They feel broken about this because you're coming into a union with somebody else. You're a privileged lady. You're wholesome. They didn't get the love relationship with you this time around. They didn't get to bind you into another contract. It could be that they're confused about this. Like maybe they thought their magician reverse manipulation, narcissistic manipulation was going to like get you into this again somehow. But maybe that was just a fantasy. Or this whole relationship was a fantasy, and the attempt to bind you again was a fantasy. You detached. Yeah, look, it came out again. Responsibilities. You've got a new relation coming up. You looked at this person and you're like, hello? You're dreaming, dude. You're in some sort of messed up delusion, wise guy. Thief. And now they're in a tower. They had you in a third party situation. You may have been alone, right? While they were off enjoying your energy and your spiritual fortune and all that. And then it came time to re-up the contract and you're like, hello? Do I even know you? Yeah, they came in. They're like, we have unfinished business. They're in a tower. They're like, you get back here. We're not done bringing drama and conflict to your life. This mature woman and this mature man. They want a commitment. They're under adjudication for bringing drama and freaking conflict to your life and to your commitment. Who's watching all this? And he sees how strong you are and how tidy you are, and you're keeping your house in order. You're not losing your shit. I mean, you may, threaten to destroy the whole entire human race in your mind occasionally, but fortunately you don't act on it, right? tie. There's a soul tie. Soul tie. And this person here, they made mistakes. They wish they could right their wrongs, but it's too late, man. It's too late. You got a new soul tie. He's watching this. He could be evaluating you, your courage, your strength, your ability to bounce back from being purposefully and intentionally bound, you know. But you're this, and so and you're this wholesome, privileged lady, and you're like, oh, you're like, I'm gonna go heal. Oh, first I'm gonna cry, then I'm gonna rage, and then I'm gonna threaten to explode the whole world, and then I'm gonna calm down, right? I don't know about you. The beautiful thing about life is that, you know, when we've done our shadow work and we've integrated and we've been there and lived that, and then we've healed from that, and we come back and we're in the light. I mean, occasionally we still go dark because it's there, right? So the thing is don't be feeling bad that you go there in your head, you know, because you're processing. And it's integrating, right? This rage, this pain, this disgust, as whatever, right? And then you have to think of solutions and move on and get with it. Once you get to be a certain age and you have gone through at least 3 heart shatterings and where your life is completely dismantled and you have to start over, eventually you come to that mindset. You don't have a lot of time, man, to recover after every heart shattering. You got to pick it up and go on. Freaking life only lasts so long. I prefer to be happy. But sometimes these jackwagons really throw you for a loop. I can tell you that much too. Unworthy. But it came out in the reverse. So this wealthy man who you've got a soul tie with has been perceiving you. He's been watching you handle this situation. And you are worthy. You're the star. This mature man is now in this situation that he had you bound in. Or he will be. So there's a divorce. There's a divorce happening. Or it's in the courthouse right now. There was horseplay regarding this main female. There could still be horseplay going on. Like energetically and mentally and stuff. This person could still be, this wise guy thief could still be needling her and energetically, you know, doing stuff. And it's just heartbreaking, you know, because somebody is such an a-hole. They're daydreaming about you. They're upset and confused. They're like, what do you mean a divorce? Well, yeah, guy, I mean, technically it should just be an annulment because you tried to take me out. I mean, isn't that kind of a void of contract agreement kind of stuff? So there's unpredictable, unreliable, and untrustworthy. This dude's facing poverty. You handled it perfectly. Somebody wants to have a conversation with you. They want to call and hear your voice. Could be this person. trying to needle their way back into your life because they're a manipulative narcissist who martyred themselves and their whole community by coming after you. And you're entering a relationship that is reciprocal, that's equal give and take. You're not going to have somebody sticking 10 swords in your freaking back this time. It's not going to be like that this time. So get that out of your head, okay? Heartbreak is difficult to heal. It is. I had no idea that a heart could shatter. And then be put back together, numerous times. Not only the bioform, but the actual, energetic heart, the energy, yeah, all that, it's like incredibly resilient. And I guess maybe that's because you're a star, those of you who have experienced this. It's like, wow. I mean, no matter how many times you fall into the deep, dark pit of despair, sooner or later, the freaking sun comes out and you wind up being able to climb up out of that hole. I mean, it's weird. And as long as you don't give up hope, it's that thing called persevering through challenges with patience, right? And just having faith that everything happens in divine timing. And these kinds of things, they can be used to strengthen us. Pain is a incredible catalyst for attaining resilience. One of the most effective ways and quickest. Unfortunately, it's not fun. How many minutes are we? I've been talking a lot. We'll go one more pass with this. Imagination, fantasy. It was all a fantasy. It was all based on sex. And narcissists, that's how they give love, right? Is through sex. And they feel that once they do that, they have command of your life and your existence. It's just the way that it goes. I don't know. It's Diablo spirits, man. They all have that same freaking thing. I don't know. It's just this weird thing. Yeah, and they're challenged because you're coming into your eternal love. They're overwhelmed. You detached. They didn't get a seat in the house. They weren't able to take your great fortune. These kin were trying to puppet you, and they didn't succeed. You're transitioning. You're moving on into an eternal love relationship, into these new responsibilities. These ones didn't get this love relationship with you. You're like, no, man, you're deluded. You got something wrong, man. And you're this wholesome, privileged lady. See, and you're coming into, it's like reciprocal. It's like, I have to take care of my financial and emotional needs. It's like, this is a partnership where it's like, it's a partnership where your financial and emotional needs will be taken care of, and it's going to be done together. You won't have to be on your own, doing it all by yourself while people are stuffing 10 swords in you. Oh my God. Wow. Maybe you signed up for it. I don't know. Did you get a really incredible, challenging birth chart or something? Perhaps. Maybe you in the spirit said, "Oh yeah, I can do that." Oh, look! Marriage. Oh. Yeah, this little jackwagon was not able to destroy your happiness. It's a sweet love, and you're relaxed. These guys have a sudden insight of awareness. They're like, holy heck, we're in a tower. And they're like, wait, we have unfinished business. And you're like, no. No, 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 no. You're a thief. You've been working to steal from me. You're a wise guy. And you don't even belong here, time traveler. They fell into a trap. They fell into a trap trying to be, and that's that mature woman. Fell into a trap bringing drama to you, bringing conflict to you. They're under adjudication. They were trying to destroy your commitment or trying to gain a commitment from you. They wanted you to be part of their future. They were fighting, trying to drag you into it, forcing you to have a contract and a connection so that they could continue to try to steal your great fortune and your seat of leadership that you earned. There's evidence of this. And they're in a nightmare. So you've got a wealthy man here who's watching you as you move through this. You've got a soul tie with this person. He thinks you're conscientious. He thinks you're strong. And these individuals made some mistakes. They're making mistakes. They're doing rituals, making mistakes. They couldn't bind you to their commitments. They couldn't bind you to their commitments. They don't have any alliances, and they're not persevering through this. Their alliances told them to go piss off. I don't know. You're the star. You've been found worthy. This mature man is bound now. He's in the eight of swords. He's feeling like a victim. He's been restricted. He was trying to rob the star, privileged lady, this wholesome lady. He was trying to rob her. He's a thief. And so is this mature woman. They cause heartbreak. They put 10 swords in people. They deliberately unalive people to steal their positions and their wealth. They're upset because they're in the courthouse now over daydreaming and doing horseplay regarding this main female. Their strategies are being investigated. There's evidence of what they've been doing. They might be sick. They might not be doing well. They're untrustworthy, unreliable, unpredictable. They're facing poverty. You handled it with perfection. Somebody wants to call you up and have a phone call with you. It could be time. This could be like almost over. You may come into You're seen as precious. You're seen as valuable. Somebody wants to call and hear your voice. Somebody desires you. This wealthy man. He recognizes your value. You've got this manipulative narcissist who martyred themselves and their whole community, and you're coming into a relationship of reciprocity, equal give and take. You've received aid from your alliances. Oh, they're furious. They didn't get your gift. Isn't that just the way to finish it up? And they're getting separated. And they're getting separated. And they're just going to have to live and learn. They're going to have to live and learn. They're all crazy. They're nutty in the head. And good news is they're going to be confined. So go ahead and say your prayers. Say thank you to your team. Try to pull yourself up out of your anger or your heartbreak and recognize that you've got a new beginning here. And you've maintained your vitality. They weren't able to strip that from you. Even while they were wearing masks and bullying you, pretending to be you, doing things, blaming you. They want to compromise now because you're coming into your fate. You're a sweetheart. And this is the end. This is the conclusion of this scenario. And they are going to lose you. And they are in danger. Because their profession is to cause misfortune and to curse families, your family. But you're okay. They're furious. He didn't give up on you. Even with all those people wearing masks, pretending to be you, mimicking your energy, you know, he didn't give up on you. They were doing most likely lots of tests. And it could have triggered a lot of pain for you. Anyhow, with that, I'll go ahead and leave it, and I'll see you on the next one, everybody. I hope you have a good night.